Hello, beautiful dear soul one. Welcome to this video about light language. In this video, I will be sharing about my own personal journey with light language, how it awoke in me, what my journey has been up to now, and how it's been evolving. I do mention bits and bobs of this story in some of my other videos, but I thought I would make a short little video to have all that information in one place. Okay, so thank you for receiving me once more on this beautiful day. So yes, as I've mentioned before, I've seen light language since I was a little child, all around me, symbols in the air. And I would see these symbols just in the air. Usually they come into my eyesight like this, and then they stay for a while, move and disappear, and then come in and disappear, and come in and disappear. And they always kind of come in very straight lines and move, and they kind of have a white see-through kind of glow, like invisible force field kind of, yeah, glow to them, like how we used to show in cartoons how a ghost looks like, or invisible force field from the Jackson spaceship looked like. Kind of like that. So before, when I was younger, I didn't really know what they were. I just thought there was something, wrong with my eyes. Like, oh, I do this, and then I see these symbols, and no one speaks about it, and I'm not going to talk about it. It's, just this thing that I see, and I'm going to pretend that I don't see it and not even mention it. So to give a little example of what these symbols look like, it looks like these kind of things. Yeah. And later in life, in the last few years, I started asking people, do you ever see these things, these symbols? And, I started asking healers and shamans and different, very highly spiritual people, but no one saw them. So I was like, okay. And the curiosity kept on growing within me. Like, suddenly I needed to know what these things were that I've seen my whole life, but there was an urge to find out. And one time I received from my higher sources that it was alien language. And I was like, oh, really? Alien language? Like they're, yeah. And during that time, just shortly after, a friend of mine, actually a beautiful starseed friend of mine, I showed her about it, and I talked to her about it, and she went for a nap, and she woke up from a nap, and she said, angel letters, we have to Google angel letters. And so we Googled angel letters, and yeah, what some people also call angel letters, or aka also light language, looked very similar to the symbols that I see. So that started waking stuff up, and a few months later I received, I asked, and in this experience it was a form of the feminine, of the goddess. In this particular session it was Isis who came through, and it was her who told me that it was Syrian. I have Syrian, I have a very strong Syrian lineage. In this particular incarnation, it is not the original origin of my soul, but I work with Sirius and the Syrian High Council. So I got told, you have to learn Syrian. It's Syrian and you're supposed to learn it. And boy, I said to myself, I have to learn these symbols? That seems really, really hard. Mind you, I speak about 3 fluent languages, and I speak about 6 different languages, and I speak some sub-languages or can read some languages, and I'm also quite highly telepathic. So language is something I love and I really enjoy, and I learn very quickly. But still, the idea of learning these symbols seemed like very difficult and far-fetched, and I thought, oh boy, they want me to learn these symbols, what, read and write and all of these stuff. And anyway, so a few months after, I discovered about light language, and listened to some other people speak light language on YouTube, and it sounded really familiar, really at home. Just the frequency that it was. And then I suddenly stumbled on this other beautiful person's YouTube channel, and it spoke of my ancient family history. I'm part of, my karmic family. We have a history in time in Egypt, and this one woman spoke of our history. It was about a half an hour YouTube, but she spoke the history all in light language. So I listened to it and I understood everything she said, and I was crying while I was listening to the history of my family in a different timeline. And it was really emotional and beautiful. I had listened to another few ladies who did some light language films, and soon thereafter I started singing. Well, during that period, actually, mind you, I was adding toning and singing to my daily practice, morning practice, and then a few days after that I started just, to open up and, allow it to flow. Let's see what comes out. And in the beginning it was really weird because it felt very foreign, right? For this body and, throat to be giving these tones. So I would do it, and then I wasn't sure, and then I practiced more, and I practiced, at least every day over an hour for the first couple of weeks. And I really got it in there, and I really got comfortable with it, and I really felt it. And afterwards there was no, literal mind thought whatsoever. It was just pure channeling, just flowing. And the first light language transmissions that I received were all on self-healing, so they helped me, move some emotional stuff and move some cellular genetic stuff and some karmic stuff, etc. So it was really me building a relationship with the transmissions and me receiving these gifts of light language transmissions to myself and my own self-healing. So that went on for a little while, and then my second phase with it was that it was just coming through a lot. So not only was I receiving it, but I was also getting information through light language, getting the next videos or writings that I needed to do. I was receiving it in light language, and then I was at the second phase. I could translate it. So in the beginning I could feel the essence of the healing, like, oh, it's, healing my throat and my heart and this, and I could feel the overall essence of what was coming through, and later I could really translate it more into more detailed segments and words and paragraphs, as much as you can with light language. And then soon after it was just naturally coming through, and I was working with one-on-one sessions with the people that I connect to and share with. So it would happen on hands-on healings, or when I was moving energy or spirits from other people's bodies, or to calm someone down, in many different ways, in a healing transmitting format. So that was really beautiful. And then soon after, I think I made my first YouTube light language transmissions. And that was after a few months of making it my own. Yeah. And then not too long ago, actually, I basically had a whole conversation with another beautiful being where we were, conversating in light language, back and forthing. And in the last few months, light language really, I don't know, I think a lot in light language. I receive, I want to speak it more and more, but not everyone around me can understand it. But I have the constant feeling to just, get rid of English and just speak light language already. But I think I'm 2 steps ahead, so I need to slow it down. And it's been amazing and beautiful. Every time if I receive or if I give light language transmissions. I feel it in my whole body, my soul, my cells. I'm quite, quote unquote, high after giving a transmission. I really feel connected to higher sources. I'm able now to just totally translate what I receive or what I give as much as it's possible with light language, because the English language is so dense, and yeah, we just don't have that much vocabulary for so much. Yeah, we're not there yet. And what else did I want to mention about light language? The newest thing that has come up for me is I started writing light language. Yeah, so soon I'll do some videos about my light language writing. I speak it and then I write while I'm speaking. The translation doesn't come while I write and speak just yet, but I can read it afterwards, and I'll read it with the palm of my hand and can translate it back into light language. I just haven't gotten translating it into English yet, but that has been awakening up, and I will do some videos when I get that far. All right. That is me and my story with light language. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love to you, and lots of love to your journey.